Hmm. Hey fam, welcome back to the Gilead Gazette, where we cover the people bringing you faith-based medicine, mandatory misery, and the occasional felony for saving a woman's life. It's been another banner week for the family values crowd, which continues to prove they don't actually value families, just controlling the women who make them. 2 days ago, a group of lawmakers introduced new language gutting life of the mother exceptions in abortion bans, because apparently the only life worth protecting is the one that doesn't exist yet. Across Texas, Idaho, and Tennessee, lawmakers have redefined the supposed safeguard that lets doctors perform an abortion if a woman's life is at risk. What this means is that a doctor can't intervene until a fetus has no heartbeat, even when the pregnancy isn't viable and the patient is hemorrhaging. Doctors are now calling hospital lawyers before they call the OR. In Idaho, a woman was airlifted to another state while hospital lawyers debated whether saving her life would be a felony. In Tennessee, a doctor who stopped a patient from bleeding out lost his license. And in Texas, hospitals now wait until women are, quote, in imminent danger of death, which is a hell of a treatment plan. The American College of OBGYNs said doctors are being forced to choose between a patient's life and their license. Apparently, family values now means seeing how many women you can bury before the next election cycle. This isn't about protecting life. It's about proving the point that women are property and property doesn't get consent forms. They keep saying every heartbeat matters, just not the ones begging for medical care. And while doctors beg for clarity, the Heritage Foundation unveiled its new anti-contraception crusade. Because if there's one thing these men hate more than abortion, it's the possibility women might avoid needing one. They're pushing, quote, moral exemptions, so employers can deny birth control coverage if it offends their faith. In plain speak, their plan lets bosses opt out of covering birth control if it offends their beliefs. And then, just to rub salt in the open wound, on Friday the New York Times published an official opinion piece, and I swear I'm not making this up. Quote, did women ruin the workplace and can conservative feminism save it? Then someone must have sobered up because they quietly changed it to, quote, did liberal feminism ruin the workplace? And if so, can conservative feminism save it? So apparently equality's fine, as long as it votes Republican. And conservative feminism? That's not an ideology, it's a hostage negotiation. Feminist writer Jessica Valenti from Abortion Every Day nailed it. She said, quote, to publish this while women's rights are being decimated is deeply immoral, bordering on evil. Exactly. Women are dying of sepsis after being denied care, and the Times is asking if we were too assertive at staff meetings. It's the kind of question you ask when you've never been denied health care or humanity. Somewhere in that newsroom, an editor looked at America's burning reproductive rights and said, sure, people are dying, but let's talk about how HR got too pink. The gray lady's wringing her pearls while women bleed out. Guess she's too busy editing the obituary for feminism. And while that circus was happening, Florida's Ron DeSantis bragged about, quote, defeating Amendment 4, a measure that would have restored reproductive rights. Florida, where you can buy an AR-15 at lunch, but need divine intervention for birth control. And just when you think the country has hit peak misogyny, a growing conservative sect is now openly talking about repealing the 19th Amendment. You know, the one that gave women the right to vote. They call it, quote, restoring traditional order. Groups like Project 2025, New Founding, and the self-described Christian nationalist movement have started pushing essays and podcasts arguing, quote, that men should lead and voting makes women unhappy. Apparently, democracy is too emotionally taxing for our delicate constitutions. Next up, banning shoes, so we can get back in the kitchen faster. Honestly, at this rate, they won't need to repeal the 19th Amendment. Just keep women too sick to vote and too dead to complain. Welcome to Gilead Inc. Family values is the slogan, control is the product, and women the supply chain.